Section 4. Core AWS Services. In this section, we will learn the following topics: Elastic Compute Cloud or EC2, EC2 pricing models, Elastic Block Storages or EBS, Simple Storage Service or S3, Virtual Private Cloud or VPC, Security Groups in AWS. Video 4.1. Elastic Compute Cloud, that is EC2. In this video, we will cover the following topics: What is EC2 service? How to start an EC2 instance? How to create an IAM role and connect to an EC2 instance? How to shut down and terminate an EC2 instance. EC2 is one of the most common compute services used within AWS. We must first understand what is meant by the term compute. So, what is it? To put simply, compute resources can be considered the brains and processing power required by applications and systems to carry out computational tasks via a series of instructions. So essentially, compute is closely related to common server components which many of us will already be familiar with, such as CPUs and RAM. With that in mind, a physical server within a data center would be considered a compute resource, as it may have multiple CPUs and many gigabytes of RAM to process instructions given by the operating system and applications. EC2 is the first compute service that we are likely to encounter when working with AWS. It allows us to deploy virtual servers within our AWS environment, and most people will require an EC2 instance within their environment as a part of at least one of their solutions. Now, how to start an EC2 instance? There are a number of elements in creating your EC2 instance. The EC2 service can be broken down into the following components: Amazon Machine Images, AMIs, Instance Types, Instance Purchasing Options, Tenancy, User Data, Storage Options, and Security. Let us look at each of these individually while creating an EC2 instance. Type EC2 in the Management Console to go to the EC2 Dashboard. You can check out your various EC2 instances here. Now click on Instances at the left side of the dashboard to view the running instances. Now click on the Launch Instance. Step 1. Choose an Amazon Machine Image or AMI which contains software configuration to launch your instance. You have many options to select AMIs from My AMIs AWS Marketplace. Here, I'm going with free tier eligible Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Step 2. Choose an instance type. As instances are virtual servers that run applications, we can choose various combinations of CPU, memory, etc. Here I am choosing T2.micro as it is free tier eligible. Now click on Next. Step 3. Configure instance details. Configure number of instances, purchasing option, network, subnet, monitoring, tenancy, etc. Now click on Next. Step 4. Add storage. Here you can add additional EBS volumes and instance store volumes to your instance. You can change size, volume type, etc., and can also add new volumes here. Again, click on Next. Step 5. Add tags. Tags have key value pairs. Add a tag if you want and proceed to click Next. Step 6. Configure security group. Security groups are a set of firewall rules that control traffic on your instance. Here you can add rules to allow specific traffic to reach your instance. For now, I'm selecting the default security group. Now click Review and Launch. Here you can review your instance and click on Launch. Now comes the key pair. Key pair consists of public and private keys that are stored by AWS and you respectively. Together, they allow you to connect to your VM instance securely. For now, I am not using a key pair. Now click on Launch Instance. Now click on View Instances. Here we can see instance ID, instance state, etc. Now check the description. Status checks, monitoring, and tags of the created instance. Here you can see the instance running and also see the status checks. This way we can create an instance. Now let us create an IAM role and connect to an EC2 instance. As shown before, go to the EC2 dashboard and launch a new instance. Complete step 1 and step 2. At IAM role, click on Create New IAM Role. So IAM roles are a secure way to grant permissions to users or groups. Click on Create Role. You can select a type of trusted entity. Here I go with AWS Service EC2. For creating a policy, search for Amazon EC2 role for SSM. You can view the summary of this policy here. Select Amazon EC2 role for SSM and click Next. Now you can add a tag. However, this is optional. Then give a role name and proceed to create role. You can view the created role here. Now add the created IAM role from step 3 of creating instance. Complete all other steps of creating an instance and launch it. You can view the running instance. Now go to SSM Simple Systems Manager. Now click on Sessions Manager. You can configure your instances to use the Session Manager and use IAM policies to control them. You can start a session on instances by launching shell or bash or terminal. After launching the terminal, you can access your instance here. For now, I'm terminating the session. Access of EC2 instances over Session Manager is useful and preferable as every session is shown here in session history. Now go back to the EC2 dashboard and instances. Let us understand that stopping or terminating an EC2 instance after use is very important as we pay for each second of the running instance. Go to Actions and click on Instance State to stop instance. This stops the running instance. Now go to Actions and click on Instance State to terminate instance. This removes this instance. Summary. In this video, we have covered the following topics. What is EC2 service? How to start an EC2 instance? How to create an IAM role and connect to an EC2 instance? How to shut down and terminate an EC2 instance. In the next video, we will learn about EC2 pricing models in AWS.